And Teddy has been dominating lanes as Caitlyn, so drawing bans on Caitlyn is always cool to see, but Caitlyn has been increasingly a first pick. We had it first picked in, I believe it was game one, series, yeah. So it's not going to be a big surprise. Hurricane nerf to Caitlyn didn't seem to change anything. Thresh ban as well. Respect coming to Totoro, who I usually associate with more of the Braum school of melee supports. But it does say, hey, are we going to be getting Zac? The answer's no.
Nope. The question is, do we immediately pick up Elise? When you've got Umpty on your roster, Jeanette probably didn't necessarily feel like this is the best situation to be in because his Lee Sin is so good, but you sort of have to pick Elise here, right?
It's an interesting quandary because, as you say, Lee Sin has been the good luck charm for the side of Jeanette, but they will go with the tier ranking, which has Elise just a little bit ahead, and because Bless has a better history with Elise and his Lee Sin has been largely not the best this season, I think it's a smart choice to pick away rather than necessarily go for ultra comfort on the side of Umti, but there's more available here. Oh,
wow, yes.
Syndra is going to be available for crazy. Kuzan's saying, don't worry, guys, I've got Lissandra.
Yeah. As he always
Or
does.
Vladimir, which is his other big pick into Syndra. I would be serious about saying it's going to be one of Lissandra or Vladimir into this Syndra.
Well, Kuzan has always been a notable Vladimir player. I know the meme is, well, I can Frozen Tomb the ultimate. It's going to be the best. But you can also just use your pull, which is on a lower cooldown. But that is both solo lanes picked up first round, Pop Smithy. How are we feeling about that?
Well, this is, again, the new sign of Crazy trying to go lane-focused. Renekton pushes in on every tank matchup, but not every other matchup. Ixu not well known for his Rumble. So Kled will be his choice. Risky matchup into the Renekton.
Yeah.
Sure, it can get there, but he's probably going to need some of the Spiderlings and attention from Umti to help him in the early game where Renekton just straight up wins basically every matchup.
Well, Kuzan's actually throwing the gauntlet here if he's thinking about the LeBlanc. It's like, if you pick solo lanes, well, we're going to pick solo lanes as well.
And nodding his head, jumping onto the LeBlanc. He is a legacy LeBlanc player, has had success on it in the past, but surprising to see him opt into this particular skill matchup, given that so much of his champion pool is pretty comfortable against the Syndra. As surprise, surprise, we will see Bless jump onto the Gragas. He is 2-0 on Gragas this season. It's been another good luck charm, but this means that no bot lane champions have been picked in the first round of the draft. Usually we have
it's
AD
the
carry
opposite,
taken
isn't it?
very early and sometimes support. And now AD carry pool is going to get pretty narrow here on the side of Jinair, especially because BBQ is saying, hey, want to ban forward AD carries to see how you go?
Yeah.
And Jinair will probably have to opt out of that unless they have Teddy ready on the second round of AD carries.
Teddy, of course, most notably a Jhin player in the past. The Twitch is going to be
banned. You'll
banned.
like this, because the fun thing is that Ghost has kind of been best on these, like, pocket picks like that.
Yeah, like Callista and things like that,
Callista and Twitch, whereas with Teddy, you just ban power because his laning is so strong. So I love the kind of dual nature of a double AD carry ban, but Ashe and Twitch are very different types of AD carry that have to be focused for these particular players.
Well, theoretically, what BBQ can do... Oh, no, they're not going to, so they're going to spread these bans out. The Braum, which has been a lot more coveted recently, is going to be taken off the board. I was going to say they could ban the Varus here and then pick the Xayah and force Teddy onto a pick that he hasn't actually gone to so far this season, but opting to spread the wealth, Snowflower's Braum has always been good. In fact, is most played currently this season.
Rye smiles from Snowflower. We'll also have a big say in sort of what bot lanes he's happy to contest with. And Tahm Kench going to be the ban.
Does make sense.
So Varus available. And Tahm Kench not there to deny it. Braum not there to deny it. Thresh not there to deny it. So a lot of power in the Varus. BBQ go with what's worked for them before, which has been the Xayah. They've had some explosive results with this pick. Another positive win rate for the side of Ghost, who was 14.5 KDA in those 2 wins against Everett. He was the big star in that particular series.
Teddy now looking towards the Callista of his own. Will be the first time that he's played this. Will stretch out that played 80 carries to 5. And he's going to lock that one away. Now where does Snowflower go? Does he deny the Rakan? Are we going to see potentially Xayah versus Rakan?
Callista Rakan sounds like it's going to have some fun. Fate's
that
Call.
Spicy, man.
Knock
Fate's
up
Call
interactions.
quickness. Like, oh.
What do we call that? The Fate's quickness?
Yeah. Fate's entrance. Oh, well. could possibly happen here. Snowflower was the debuter of the successful Rakan here at LCK. Debuter is a terrible word. I'll work on that one. But Totoro going to go back to what is certainly some power on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, just wants to punish the Rakan, whose early laning phase is not its strength.
Oh, speaking of punishment, that's a way to do it.
This would make it a true pick comp on the side of BBQ. So many different variables to contend with if the Blitzcrank is locked in. And it will be. Okay, so now the Feathers, they're trying to step away from those. Suddenly the Blitzcrank hook may be hitting. Yeah. Spicy bot lane matchup. Atlas was left to the last moment, and now we get Kalista Rakan for so many different potential gap close and disengages and engages.
Totoro's hooks are going to have to be so good, Papa Smithy. How do you land hooks on Kalista and Rakan?
You give Kled free initiation instead.
Oh my goodness, it sounds pretty scary on the side of BBQ, but it's an all-in composition. They've got crazy power in the early game. If you want winning lanes, they most certainly got them. Renekton known for winning lanes. Syndra is busted. Man, things are looking good for BBQ as far as the early game is concerned, but are Jin Air going to continue on their upswing as far as coordination?
And the fun thing is that, sure, if the jungler is not involved, a lot of these lanes from BBQ should be pretty formidable, but they're all kind of brittle if they're targeted. If there's an early gank in those lanes, you can get LeBlanc, you can get Kled, and you can also win the bot lane. And has been the star of the side of Jin Air. He's got great members around him, but Umti's uptick has led to Jin Air's uptick. And if can use what is a very powerful jungle pick in the Elise, the on-paper matchups may not matter.
Yep, and we've seen it before. I mean, Cuz in our first matchup almost single-handedly destroyed the game on his Zac by stealing everything away early, allowing his lanes to roll over the top. We'll see whether it is going to be another story or whether BBQ, with all the power that they've put together, will be able to take down game one. Okay, almost 3 cheers here, Papa Smithy. It's almost like a happy birthday song. However, fans not quite into it just yet. Jin Air Green Wings fans in the audience here as well.
That probably says something really funny about Crazy.
Yeah, it does.
Well, Ixu decided to not stay with his team. This is kind of a losing level 1 strategy by Jin Air. We saw Blitzcrank in Series 1. You remember it was the 5-man invade on both sides because you don't want to allow a 3v1 scenario. Oh, the Jin Air. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, they're looking for it. There's the grand entrance. The exhaust goes down. Ghost is just going to be killed, and it goes to Teddy. If there's ever a nightmare scenario, Pub Smithy, it's that one. Teddy gets to even go back before minions spawn and buy an item. That's a longsword. He's a soldier. He's got a sword and a shield and an extra potion.
And Atlas, I baited myself. I said, well, Ixu shouldn't have been all alone. That's a good way to get picked. Well, guess what? Ghost was all alone himself, surrounded by the late invade coming through from Jin Air. They just wanted to get information because they knew they weren't getting information in the top side, and they got the best information, which, like you say, is extra items onto Teddy. He's on Kalista, a laning 80 carry. The bot lane was one of the spots where Kalista, maybe even alone, could do a lot against the Xayah and the Blitzcrank, and now she's set up to do so.
Yep, I was going to ask you, Papa Smithy, what it was that you mentioned about Kalista and just Teddy in general, and I didn't have to because you let us know exactly what was going on. As Ren, that was weird. The Ren before didn't actually make any noise, but he still managed to pick it up.
There were some buffs to Kalista over the course of patches. You remember there was the nerf at one point where it took 2 minions to actually get the full mana back from Rend. It's been lowered again to 1, so laning power, pushing power of the Kalista doesn't need to be on the same mana budget, so little buffs to Kalista over time have made her an attractive pick, and that's where the meta is right now. We're seeing more and more Kalista, which I think is fun. It's actually Teddy's first ever professional game as Kalista.
Well, Umpty, you mentioned, Papa Smithy, that Tempt would have to, well, that everyone would have to worry about Umpty, and Umpty didn't even have to do anything. He just walked.
Because if you think about it, a lot of the BBQ kind of champions, or at least a lot of the games where we've had pushing lanes, there hasn't been Elise available. And she's one of the few champions that can actually punish pushing lanes in a realistic fashion. Sure, Lee Sin can pop over and do some damage pre-6, but that's about it. As Kuzan looks for the chains, does hit them. Don't think he'll have kill pressure quite, but...
Message received. Papa Smithy.
But yeah, Elise being there can warp these lanes that, without such a powerful ganking jungler, are just straight up push lane, win. There's no answer from the enemy team. Elise is an answer in and of herself.
You can see Snowflower here. Almost baiting Totoro. Probably wants that level 3. I don't know whether he's taken Battle Dance already. But, oh, there it is. So Snowflower just gets in the way of it. Dashes his way back. Interesting that he didn't hold on to the Grand Entrance just for a little bit longer. But still, some meaningful damage here.
And the reason you do that is if you're thinking that they will flash after you. Wasn't to be in that case. Good harass coming through from the side of BBQ. In the top side, just teleporting back in. So Renekton not been able to boss around the lane as much as you might expect so far, and perhaps has the Spidey sense that Umti is top side.
Well, looks very far up. So Umti, wow. Okay, that's a Spiderling teleport. And that's Kuzan looking for another kill.
That's the minion wave awkwardly not actually pushing yet.
Okay. Oh,
they can definitely screw this up as Umti takes up 300 HP from the minions. That was dumb.
Okay, so this was almost the Freaks all over again, Papa Smithy, but thankfully they didn't actually opt in for anything.
He actually needed his Spiderlings to be tanking the minions coming in, otherwise he's going to be in a lot of trouble. He didn't want the minion wave to crash because he wanted the turret dive to be cleaner, but trying to do too much at once. So speaking of doing too much...
As a flash body slam, Battle Dance gets Snowflower out, and that is a 4-man investment on the bottom side of the map that is also going to be thwarted?
They're flaunted. They're flaunting it.
They're flaunting with the bottom side dive.
You lost your words there. But
I also said it in the wrong accent as well, so they must remember that I am Australian. Okay, Kuzan playing Gatekeeper.
Doesn't want Tempt getting into lane, and forces Tempt to take the longest possible way back into lane.
Loses a few creeps there as well, as Umti's like, oh, where did my health bar go?
He needed the blast cone there. That's for sure.
Yeah, he did.
That was almost really embarrassing.
I think it was still pretty embarrassing. Okay, well, at least he's playing a fancy song. Maybe stick to the concerts instead of the trying to kill raptors at 0 health. That is not a party that you want to be entering. Okay, Teddy very low on the old mana. But like you said, changes to Rend. Feeling better. Board's going down. Kuzan, I was about to say narrowly avoids, but that was quite a big avoiding that one.
Just laning phase now. A lot of the action in level 1. Flash being down on Ghost, no longer a factor. It's pretty important to say that Ghost and Totoro could play up as much as they did.
Yeah.
Actually go even in CS, even when their AD carry entered lane with only 1 summoner. They can see the LeBlanc in mid lane.
Yeah, it was a cute use to see, but maybe Tempt was a bit confused. Throws down another one, but the chains don't land. Tempt can break those chains, something like that.
Speaking of breaking, the win rate of Syndra is no longer undefeated. That streak was shattered earlier this week, and I believe at the end of last week. So while the pick still does have a lot of respect, and a lot of people don't feel that they have champion pools to lane reliably into good Syndra players, it is no longer undefeated in Korea.
Yep, still seeing a lot of bans, of course, but I think, like you said, it's about these very notable Syndra players.
Umti.
Umti once again. He's doing the walk at him method. Oh, the ultimate comes in. Oh, Jesus, that was close. And the repel's going to get Umti over there. Flashes the orb for style points. And I think if that was calculated, Kuzan, I'd give you $1 million.
It was 6 HP from what I saw. Super low does Kuzan fall down. If one minion had been aggroed, if he had auto-attacked, I don't believe he did, we'll see in the replay, but he didn't have minion aggro. A minion would have killed him. So to come up 2-0 in that scenario was as narrow as can be. Kuzan will say calculated, but that was not calculated, Atlas.
No, most certainly wasn't.
And do you know how he lived there? He lived because every champion now gets magic resist per level, and he has 2 more magic resist than he would usually, and didn't die.
Oh my goodness. small stat change relevance, Papa Smithy. That's what we're talking about. Now also have a fight on the top side of the map. Crazy does still have the dominus, remember. Oh, bear trap in a rope. Not going to find it. Man, he's viciously battling right now.
Back in the mid lane.
Yeah, some more chains are going to land.
A lot of free damage. They even got the revolver proc.
Yeah. I love that the gun feels like an actual gun now.
Instead of just giving you...
Yeah, it was more like a
straw.
Straw. It was like a straw.
Give me some of your life.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there wasn't anything else that really offered that as well, so...
Lane swap coming through at 8 minutes that we've seen more and more common this season. Kuzan does actually land the chain. Doesn't quite have enough burst, but there's slow reactions on the side of Jin Air. We've seen so many teams be in position to answer after the first buy. Jin Air kind of wander bot lane, and BBQ pick up a free objective. So against the run of play, BBQ make the smarter macro decision with a losing bot lane and losing mid lane, and still trade up.
Yeah. It's the difference between what we saw on Thursday, Papa Smithy, in the KT Samsung series, I believe, where this sort of macro play was being answered across the board. It felt like a game of chess. This time, BBQ most certainly getting the lead.
And it comes due to a multitude of factors and also has a lot of impact. Now, they've been well held and targeted by Elise, who's had good ganks. Guess what? Lane swaps, if you remember, when they were an auto thing throughout the course of the last 2 years, the majority of it, they kind of hid your jungler. It was less about Elise finding lanes to gank because, hey, your positioning and movements were forced across the map as everyone had to collapse at the right time. Speaking of collapse, somebody takes some free damage, but you had to collapse on a turret at 3:15 or whatever it was. This is a different meta. This is the standard lane meta. Junglers like Elise, once again, are very high value. But if you enact a lane swap like they did, sending 4 top, the value of Elise goes down, because sure, she can push quite well, but she's not able to get the same gank pressure because there's no lanes to gank when there's 4 people in one lane.
Now we did just see Crazy getting a lot of pressure towards the top side. Hook not going to find anyone as there's the grand entrance. Snowflower still taking so much damage. Fate's Call at the perfect time. Unable to get the kill back on Totoro, but they save the turret for the moment. Deny the kill from Tempt.
So they will at least win this particular turret trade, but remember, they lost a turret straight up, so it still will be 2-1 for BBQ.
Yep. So that is going to be that one falling down. Ghost does get solo local gold for that. Tempt once again.
Level 9 to level 7.
Yeah, this gun is really going nuts on the Tempt as well. The use of the revolver every time it's up. I mean, I haven't seen very many people actually track that cooldown. But Kuzan just seems to be able to know exactly when he can shoot people. It's cool.
This is a trade that would love to get. Now, he's in a ward, but a lot of the pressure for BBQ is bot side, and the mid laner is losing straight up, so they can't really contest top side. So they give up the Rift Hole. They want, at minimum, this Infernal.
Snowflower, we'll see whether he actually goes. No, he knows exactly what's going on. It's Kuzan.
He would love to kill Ghost, who's low on mana. May not have had 100, so might actually have not been able to Featherstorm.
Yeah. Question's still there, but like you were talking about, the Rift Herald did fall to Umti. He'll now be able to use that to try and get themselves a structural advantage. It's 2 turrets to 1 in favor of BBQ, but Jin Air still in the lead as far as the gold. It really does shout out the fact that they are ahead in the farm.
See what lane Umti wants to put Rift Herald into. Mid lane is your suspicion, and with a pretty big experience advantage for Kuzan. Could certainly be a big play for them. Could also play around bot lane because they have double teleport, and Tempt won't be able to get there. So they have a lot of options here. See Elise pushing into the blue side jungle of BBQ. I hear Kled.
Yeah, here's the charge. Grand Entrance gets a double knock-up. Everything seems to be working as the Featherstorm does fly through. Ixu jumps off Skull, and in comes Kuzan. Low health bars, you're right. As Kuzan... What was... buddy? Okay.
Just took free damage. They didn't actually invest the Rift Herald. Everyone is bot lane. Nothing is gained from the side of Jin Air, and it was allowing Tempt to get free time and experience in the mid lane. So big commitment there with the lane gank from Ixu. Does not pay off.
At least they do get the teleport from Crazy. I believe it was in the last engage. Traded for Kuzan's, but double teleport here, so Ixu can find himself some sort of other trade. Seems like minion waves are in decent positions as well. Now Crazy's sort of relegated to clearing up a Krug camp to make that number look better, but remember, they're smaller, not worth as much gold, and he's cheating.
I'd like to see BBQ cheat their way into the blue side jungle of Jin Air. Thank you very much. And get some aggressive vision. Sure, they have been losing out in the pick wars, but because they have top lane turret down, they do have more space to invade and get vision, and they need to know where Elise is at every time because they need to respect the Rift Herald that still will be pushed down. So even though they've been losing out on ganks, I feel like there is still some advanced vision that can be gained without being disrespectful by BBQ.
And I feel like it's actually sort of double because both teams need to focus so much on vision because everyone knows the rule of Blitzcrank. You have to know where he is, otherwise you have to play so scared. Much like when we were in a meta that involved Fiddlesticks. A meta that all of us, I'm sure, sorely miss.
Hey, Fiddlesticks was my flair on Reddit before I got the tick. I love Fiddlesticks. It was my
know.
First main.
He was definitely your first main. I remember.
I was
watching professional Papa Smithy.
I was a fiddle in the middle, even before that.
Ooh, the dream. Fate's call. Teddy just wanted to give Snowflower a hug. That is it. Okay, Totoro still going aggressive. Unseen, actually, Teddy. Oh, good ward. Maybe didn't want to invest the...
But they see that many people in the bot lane. Hey, it's Rift Herald time.
Yeah.
Mid lane turret's going to go down because they saw so many people. Goodbye. See ya.
Boop. Congratulations. D, that was the biggest auto attack from Elise I've ever seen.
And if you think about it, Teddy traded an a control ward for mid lane turret. That gave them the information to know. Yeah. 3 people bought instant reaction from Jin Air. Jin Air of spring season, Jin Air of the last 2 years was never good at proactive plays in the early to mid game. We knew that he loved to play 50-minute fiestas, one team fight. Maybe they won, maybe they lost. Usually they lost. This is a new Jin Air that trade information for an objective, and that was really well done. Sure, Teddy could have gotten picked, but they were like, okay, get some information. Where are BBQ? They saw 3, and no one hesitated. Instant reaction, instant Rift Herald, instant mid lane turret.
And as we move towards the mid and late game, Papa Smithy, is this Jin Air composition one that wants to go for something like a 1-3-1, utilizing the double teleport and the power of something like a LeBlanc in a side lane to push this one through? Or are they going to do the Jin Air thing where they just somehow manage to team fight with almost any composition?
I think they're set up to do the former, which is the 1-3-1, like you say, double TP versus Syndra, who basically wants the game to be played around her finding picks. So speaking of picks,
trade the ultimate for the grand entrance. I'll take that any day of the week. Teleport coming in from Jin Air. Iksu.
Are we rolling?
Let's roll. Is it finally time to
I'm
let's
trying to
roll
find
again?
out. Everyone wants to know. Will we be rolling? Look, Iksu's definitely going to be rolling. He teleported for this.
Yeah, keep on rolling, baby. You know what time it is.
No Limp Bizkit, please. Here we go. We're rolling.
Okay, Ghost, no Featherstorm, remember. He is a valid target. Everyone launching forward. Cocoon doesn't land, but it's a big knock-up. Totoro, he is the focus for now, and the grand entrance is working so well. The quickness at the same time. That's 3 kills almost instantly. 2 of them going to Teddy. This Callista is going to be a problem for BBQ.
Yeah, the first time they tried this 2 telegraph didn't work. This time, I think that BBQ would have been surprised to see the charge summoned. It was a shorter range one. Everyone else was in position to clean up. 3 kills, an outer turret, 5-0 on the kill score. That's when they realized, oh crap, Iksu's in the bot lane, rolls in, big engage, and they actually just go for the first target. They're just happy to take down Totoro. They don't do anything tricky. On the backside, Temp does slow down LeBlanc, so perhaps it could have gone worse. In the end, they still clean up the kills, so hard to evaluate that. 5-0 the kill score. The turret's only now in the advantage of Jin Air after BBQ out-rotated them earlier in the game. And sure, BBQ have an Infernal Drake, but everything else has gone the way of Jin Air.
Yeah, Jin Air looking cool, calm, and collected. Not letting any of the shenanigans in the early stage of the game get under their skin. The 5-0 scoreline and a very dangerous-looking Teddy. Things are frightening. A lot of damage now onto Totoro, but they seem to be just happy giving up these dragons if they can get control elsewhere.
You say a very scary-looking Teddy. I think that's actually an understatement. He has Blade the Ruin King Hurricane at 16 minutes in the game. He picked it up, so he is already a teamfight monster. There isn't anything more than a cloth armor and a ninja tabi on the side of BBQ, they will get wrecked if there is an extended team fight. And also, Jin Air have the charge. They have other ways, like the grand entrance and quickness, to engage. So they've got ways to force a fight, and they win a fight. Therefore, things are looking pretty rosy for Jin Air.
Yep, they're having a very good time. Crazy, not so much, as Kuzan, I believe, just put a run of spells into him. Still sitting on both summoner spells for Teddy as well, as Ghost still has to wait a while for that heal to come up and the flash even longer. Still big control points available for Jin Air, which is why I'm sort of surprised that BBQ were able to capitalize, pick themselves up a Dragon. So good for them to be able to at least understand where Jin Air were backing, where they were going to be, and grab themselves something for it. Because any movement speed's good.
And losing things can still give you objectives. That's the best teams will see this. MVP probably is the biggest defender at not finding the windows that other teams find, but even if you see multiple objectives go down, there are wins to be gotten elsewhere on the map. So credit to BBQ. Will an Infernal and a Cloud Drake bring them back into this game? Probably not, but it's still at least something on the board. It's no perfect game. 2 turrets, 2 Drakes. BBQ doing their best, but right now, Jin Air, they hold all the cards.
Yeah. Tempt has his Banshee's Veil completed, so not going to be too afraid of the initial array of spells from Jin Air. When you have a composition like this, though, it's pretty hard not to be hit by something flying out. Could find a good use for Rakan's Q, breaking Banshee's Veil. It makes it pretty valuable, right?
I mean, that's one more use for the Rakan's Q than I've ever found, so it's something.
I had to look up the name of it because it's just, it means so nothing. You know, it's Gleaming Quill.
I would say it's the worst ability of the game.
It is probably one of.
I think it's the worst.
Because it does, like,
name one that's even sort of worse.
As far as, like...
I'll wait.
Are we saying worse, like, poorly named, or just worse ability?
No, worse
like,
ability.
Ability that just feels like nothing.
That does nothing. That you feel bad putting a point into.
Well, it used to be Jace's W.
Agreed. But Jace's W is sick now.
Yeah, it's super sick now.
It's bad times for the...
Udyr's Tiger Stance when you're going Phoenix Udyr.
Even then, 1 point at level 3 or 4.
Yeah, damn it, it is still good. Ugh. No. I reckon you're right. I think it's
but it breaks Banshee, so you got something.
Yeah, there we are. It's valuable this game. Haha. No grand entrance now for Jin Air. The Snowflower once again going to block that one off. Gets his way out. Oh, the ultimate. Going to be flashed by Snowflower. Just buys him some more distance. And BBQ, they were looking for an engagement, but Snowflower too tricksy.
They draw in the teleport from Crazy with the home guards, but can't force the fight. Ixu and Kuzan can recall and teleport in, but Rakan is out of the fight. Teddy didn't want to use Fate's Call. I guess he wanted to keep it for forcing a fight, and thus the whole HP bar of Snowflower was given up for nothing.
Teddy also flashed as well.
He needed to. Had to respect the cask.
Yep.
Total rolls around adorably.
Well, Tempt is going for the Leandries as his second item. Feels like probably the extra health is going to be helpful as well.
Kuzan would love a Banshee Veil to be able to pop over a wall to harass and not instantly die to a Blitzcrank hook.
Yeah. At least to be able to wander around and get hit by something first before you have to fear a hook. This makes life less stressful.
Probably going to be a double Banshee very soon between Umti and Kuzan.
Yeah, Umti actually very close. Got quite the plethora of bits of items.
Kind of fun how it's a Blitzcrank meta, even though Banshee Veil is now a meta item.
Yeah.
Strange how that happened at the same time as Kuzan gets the second chain.
Yep, that's 2 chains. Oh, that was cute. Didn't know Blade Caller went that far.
2 chains and a tether.
Yeah.
Coming to a record store near you.
I'd buy that up. Most definitely. Well, Barrel going to make... Oh, Kuzan! He's going to get spotted immediately. Gets his way out. Barrel
not quite up.
Yeah, doesn't do enough damage. And look at this. The chains doing work now. This level 13 LeBlanc.
Baron threat with the Callista, always a reality. So Jin Air have been looking to force that objective. Can't contest the control ward in the red bush. So right now, it is going to be not a possible objective. Crazy doesn't have teleport. That's why they're doubling down on the Baron place.
Now, Volatile Spiderling will spot there's no one waiting around that red buff, but
Kuzan
you're right, this makes a lot of sense.
He's looking for a deep teleport. One of the wards cleared out by Bless. All right, we're rolling.
Yeah, here's the charge. And where is Kuzan going? He's up towards the top side. Everyone on BBQ relatively together. No hook now for the next few seconds.
Kuzan lost his home guard buff, so he's not actually able to close the distance, so that attempt is wasted.
Unfortunate. Could have been a good opportunity, but diving in when there's interrupts and things like this coming out of BBQ at close range. Oh, okay, could be the go button. Nope.
They don't have LeBlanc. LeBlanc doesn't have teleport. She's top lane, so not going to be now. There's actually a pretty big window of advantage for Jin Air that's kind of gone to waste. You know, if they could have just played 3 lanes, then had double teleport and run crazy with no teleport and tempt around the map, and then gotten a free objective, maybe not Baron, but something similar as mid lane.
Well, there's the flash body slam. We do have a Fate's Call available as Teddy could bring Snowflower Black, but no, he can't. That's just going to be the unleashed power and the destruction out of Tempt. We knew it could possibly happen, and Bless made that one look pretty easy.
BBQ taking advantage of Jin Air misfiring around the red side. Sure, LeBlanc might be pushing in top, but BBQ are still pushing in mid. They don't respect anything about a no-charge Ixu and just Umti.
Should be able to get this turret, but it's going to be traded for one in the mid lane here as BBQ all pushing forward. Run out of minion wave. That's 2 for 1 on the turret trade. Umti thinking about getting some corralling going on, but this minion wave will crash into the turret, not do too much more. Now Jin Air just pinging on the Baron. They've got a heck of a lot of vision.
They've had a control ward that's stuck there for a while. They know Kalista can't be there yet, and Umti's not going to be able to rush it. This is optimistic from the side of Jin Air. Still, a gap in vision from BBQ that can be exploited. Blitzcrank is kind of meandering his way towards his objective.
This is just gone. That Baron is so easily Jin Air's, because that were 3 backs that just came in. Snowflower.
Only now are BBQ actually closing distance. Blitzcrank auto-attacked some minions before he got here. 3,000 health for the Baron.
Yep. And look at how many sticks it's got in it. There is no way anyone is stealing this. The Rend easily does it. Umti probably shouldn't have smited there because I believe that Teddy could have just locked that one down. That was the easiest Baron I've ever seen.
I think it was
Lose
smart.
2 turrets and gain 1 and then just take Baron for free.
I'll say the smite was fine just because he smited early at about 1,500 and then it was at 400 and clearly the Rend would have done. I think the Rend was probably around 700 to 800 damage in that scenario, so still well secured. Weird, the BBQ recalls were fine, but they actually took a long time to really click that, hey, 24 minutes, we could have lost the Baron. They didn't respect
But they were also just fighting around that area, right?
And it's also, it was Elise and Rakan leashing it super early, starting the first 1,000, 2,000 damage before you would have really respected, because you expect Kalista to be in the pit when they start the Baron, but they had started it so much earlier that they kind of 8 to 10 seconds speed difference was the difference between contesting the Baron at 6,000 health and contesting the Baron at 3,000 health.
Yeah.
And now you're dealing with Ixu with charge available and teleport on Kled with an item advantage. Well, item parity really, but a slight advantage over his opponent. Kuzan's been pushing in top lane. The 1-3-1 is super powerful that you talked about before, Atlas.
Especially now that it's been set up that way. As Jin Air should be able to get the damage required on this inner turret on the bottom side of the map, but can they get more afterwards is the question, because they're spreading BBQ so thin. And look at them, they're spending so much time just running around the map.
And in that time, they get nothing. They don't get creeps, they don't get vision, they just run from top to bot lane, have to respect all the pressure. Moment the Kuzan sees them walk on a ward, a show in minion vision. He goes back to push top lane. Jin Air cutting aggressively. They don't respect being caught by a Blitzcrank. They've got Banshee's Veils. Right now, they are strong. Rakan can walk up. Hey, they don't worry about Ixu.
Oh, and look at this. Snowflower, he's going to get the charms in with the quickness. Gets himself back out of there too very, very easily. Not a lot of damage down onto Ghost, who doesn't have the Featherstorm anymore, but the tower is the priority, and Kuzan being frustrating on the backline means that BBQ couldn't capitalize. Yeah,
good clean call from Jin Air. No one there went ultra aggressive when they could have. Snowflower didn't use his flash for the quickness either. The primary objective was the inner turret. All 3 inner turrets are down. It grows the gold lead, which now is at around 6,000. They'll find a better, cleaner fight later. Jin Air can just rinse and repeat, pick up some more items, and look to close the game.
Yeah. Clean late game play so far from Jin Air. We know that the late game was where they started their upswing, Papa Smithy, especially in the promotion tournament. It seemed like when Jin Air Green Wings got themselves into a team fight situation in the late game, it was almost regardless of team composition, they were able to come out ahead.
And put it this way, what is Jin Air most famous of? Even if you'd never come over to Korea, what was one stat Jin Air would always win?
Game length.
Exactly. Game time was always where they were longest. Longest game time this season, 39.7. You'd be surprised to find out is a Freak of Freaks, interestingly.
Wow.
They have the longest game time. Now, they've played some crazy games, but they've played perfect games, so it's kind of strange.
Yep. Well, inconsistency is also their motto, so you'd expect them to be in the outlier territory.
Jin Air is actually 7th in terms of game length. They are one of the fastest teams.
Goodness.
That's never happened before. They have always been last or second last when Samsung was playing 45-minute teamfight only games, winning them, but still, Samsung was first in one of the seasons. Every other season of the past 5, Jin Air has been longest average game time. So for them to be top half, finishing games quickly around the 30 to 35-minute mark, currently 35-minute average game time, is another sign that it's a whole new Jin Air.
And largely unchanged roster as well. You say whole new Jin Air, but it's not new players. It's just new mindset and new success story, honestly. Still, of course, not challenging teams like SKT or Samsung up the very tippy top of the table. I will not say KT. Sorry, I can't do it. Can't do it.
It's one more big result away from you just being a pure KT fanboy. I know it.
Well, no. All the KT fanboys that are actually watching cannot handle the jinx. So, like, if you say a lot and it's death, the jinx, oh, perfect, stunning. But you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to jinx it. Can't jinx it. So, not quite breaking into that little bubble at the very top of the LCK, but Jin Air making definite statement when it comes to solidifying the middle of the pack.
And I have happy news for you. We have the return of a changed bubble in the case of Sterix Gauge coming through from Kled. Now, Sterix Gauge was changed in recent patches. It scales much harder with bonus HB, just like the Tiamat evolution that he's gone for. Of course, no longer the Ravenous Hydra. Titanic Hydra is usually the case for the Kled. So Titanic Hydra and Sterix Gauge have a lot of synergy, as of course as the health on Black Cleaver. So this might be a new 3-item Kled build we haven't seen as much before, because people have just been going Guardian Angel around 3rd or 4th item.
I also think it's really cool that Ixu's gone this way for a 3-item power spike, given the fact that they are looking to finish off the game relatively quickly, right? And you want immediate power. Makes sense for a lot of reasons, Papa Smithy. Very cool. Very cool.
But they got to end the game. You know,
they do.
That's the part, is they haven't broken the base. All the easy objectives, they've been gone for a while. Baron buff's going to be trivial because Jin Air have been playing literally around their inhibitor ring of turrets the whole time. But will Jin Air just say, okay, 1 minute to the Baron, we'll pull back, we'll get that for free, keep the waves pushing until then? Will they go more aggressive? Looks like it's going to be the former, as Teddy's going to go for his last shopping trip. At least last shopping trip he hopes he's going to be going for.
Yeah, if it's Mortal Reminder, then he's going to feel good about it, but it's just a last whisper. Sells a control ward, but he just put one down, so he does have one on the map, guys.
Team effort, BBQ, trying to get vision. Here we go.
Yep. Do have a fair bit of vision of the other players.
They'd love to see the purple snake. They cannot see it, though.
No. Well, neither can we. 40 seconds till that big old Bazza gets out of his pit. Or her pit. Their pit.
It is a female, from what I understand.
I just don't know. I just feel like giving it a gender is almost, like, it's pointless.
But not giving it a gender? Isn't that also, like, rude?
No. You don't have to have a gender. If you don't want to. I haven't asked Baron, though.
That's true. You should definitely get in the practice tool and communicate with Baron.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, when it comes down to it, communication is key. But speaking of purple worms,
let's see how clean this can be from Jin Air. They want to power down this game. Taking the Baron would be a good way to do it. No one on the side of BBQ is even thinking about going near the Baron. They really are afraid.
Ixu was like just hammering it in.
So BBQ have made the call that we cannot contest Baron, which, you know, given the vision situation, is probably true. Surprising amount of restraint, but it's always that kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't situation where they also gave away a free Baron.
Yeah.
And it's not like
by not contesting Baron, we don't die. But also, they get Baron, and we'll probably win.
And then Super Minions will push in, and Blitzcrank will probably not be able to take a hook. Their wave clear is pretty poor. I don't know if that side of the coin was the correct one. You know, if they had crazy wave clear the Varus Jace days, maybe. But yeah, they would have well known the Baron buff would be gone, and it was very fast.
Yeah. Now they're going to utilize this 1-3-1 composition, and not a whole lot BBQ can do with the comp that they have set up for themselves. It's currently 8,000 gold the lead for Jin Air.
Jin Air, if they want to continue being the clean team that we're trying to purporting them to be, bring in those minion waves, all three at about the same time, and something's got to give on the side of BBQ.
Yeah. They went from the meme team to the clean team.
Yep.
Yeah. They still are kind of the meme team, but it's in a good way.
Clean Air?
Well, it's just like no more sad points.
No. Clean Air is a meme name.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Don't have much of that here in Korea, actually.
They're trying their best, you know? Well,
proximity to China, man. That's just how that works.
Playing all three lanes, but not getting the turret damage just yet. BBQ gambled that they can keep their base alive and not have it ruined during the course of the Baron buff, and so far so good, but you have to feel like accumulated pressure is going to finally take them down.
Charge. Ghost may no, doesn't need to invest the ult, but they do lose the turret all too easily. Hook. But well, we'll never know. Maybe it landed.
Well, that's 2 turrets dead. That's already kind of objective win for the side of Jin Air.
Yeah, it's good blade caller, but otherwise not going to get too much.
BBQ are running around like headless chickens again. Nothing they can do.
Yeah.
Nothing they can contest. Hook misses. They don't really want to aggress any harder.
Was that an intentional pun?
No, actually. But I took when I said it, I realized what I had said.
It's fantastic. And
yeah, Jin Air just going to visit this 3rd inhibitor turret. They haven't taken any inhibitors yet, but they'd like one really soon.
This is just a casual Ixu teleport.
Cancel.
He's going to cancel it, yeah. Didn't create quite the space that he wanted to. Kuzan gets half the health from the turret.
That was actually really silly, right, Ixu? Because now he has to walk all the way there,
Yeah.
and they lose minion waves of pressure.
He can almost charge all his way there.
Doesn't have charge.
I know, but he can almost. Like, it's coming up in a matter of moments.
Isn't an almost charge just not charging?
Yeah.
So it's not
I've
actually
almost
that
got
close.
charge on my phone. Yeah, you still can't make a phone call.
The real life struggles of being
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you tell people when you don't call them, when you say, well, I almost called.
I almost had charge.
Well, they're looking to end the game here, Jin Air. 35 minutes, that's when they've been ending games consistently. They've done all the hard work. They just need to close.
Now with super creeps.
And everything.
Baron minions.
Baron only for another 5 seconds or so. It's probably not going to have the buff. Kalista, for some reason, really needs a blue buff.
Man, Temp looks a little bit out of practice on the old Syndra this moment in time. Even though at this point, it's a difficult scenario.
The 6-kill game, Atlas. The kills haven't really been there. There's a charge off screen.
Ixu, he got it off cooldown and immediately wants to use it. Bless takes a lot of damage, but it's Ixu that's getting a lot of the punishment. Once again, Teddy focuses on the turret and a hook goes wide from Totoro. Oh, Umpty just exploded. Didn't even have time to use his repel to get out of the way, but the quickness flies through. Everyone CC'd up. Featherstorm now on cooldown, and can they get the rest of the kills? Kuzan's in there. There's Teddy Fate's got triple knock-up, and Teddy's going to start his onslaught. So much damage from the Kalista.
Double
The
kill.
Second reset as everyone gets to the fountain. Penta is denied, but I have a feeling this will still be the end of the game for BBQ.
They're trying to finish it up. That's just trying to buy time. The respawn is so far away, though, Atlas.
Still, more minions piling in. This Nexus turret very, very low. BBQ will need some heroism to try and stay here.
Kuzan can teleport back in.
Yeah, he's got the teleport. He can keep a minion alive. As Snowflower, he's going to get sacrificed for the good of the colony. And Teddy wants to just go on his merry way. Ghost is going to get destroyed. It's Kuzan that locks down that kill. Shatter Orb, sorry, doing a bunch of work. And the Nexus falls. Jin Air, in the end, a 12,000 gold lead and a solid victory. But some decent mid-game play and some rotational optimism to be had for BBQ.
I love the little smart decisions this new Jin Air team can make. Best typified by the control ward, finding 3 people looking for a pick, instant Rift Herald mid, instant mid lane turret, played smart for the majority. We're out-rotated for the first brick at least. That was cool from BBQ. It wasn't MVP versus Longzhu, but still Jin Air largely looked in control, made the right decisions, and we hit 25 minutes, and there was only one team that was going to win.
Yeah, and there were Small parts of that draft as well, which did look dangerous for Jin Green Wings. The fact that the Syndra got through, we hadn't seen that for a while, suffered another loss now here in the LCK. Not a very big number, the old losses for Syndra are, and a lot of teams that weren't getting wins were able to, based on the existence of that one champion. Wasn't enough to get BBQ across the line, and Jin Green Wings will take game one, looking to try and grab themselves yet another victory and mean that only 2 matches been lost by Jin if they're able to pick up this win. That is a massive story for the beginning of the summer split.
Yeah, BBQ will be jumping onto blue side. Will they find a pick that can actually blow open the game? You would have thought Syndra finally showing up on red side will be something to build around, but that wasn't to be.
Yeah, see whether maybe some Gallios are going to be traded, maybe something like the Zac could come in, something to really shake things up, because I think BBQ really need to change things, move things forward, and try and get themselves to a winning position. We are going to go to a short break. When we get